each panelist to present a narrow topic in 10 minutes, which is going to be very difficult to keep it within 10 minutes. But they all said they were going to try as hard as they could to do that. We have Mr. Dan Alone with, he's a mechanical engineer. He's the chief of drinking water section housed in the Water Protection Division of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Region 4. Oh, and panelists, if you would maybe just put your hand up so you know who it is. This is Mr. Alone. He'll be our first speaker. And he has over 20 years experience in drinking water program, both state and federal level. And he's coming here tonight to talk to us about the rulemaking process in the Safe Drinking Water Act, basically discussing how water standards, drinking water standards are set on the federal level, right? Our next speaker is Mr. John Pope, down there toward the end, who's been employed with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection since 1985 and has worked exclusively in the potable water section. That's drinking water for you non-science folks out there, of the Northwest District, and he's been the supervisor since 2003. And Mr. Pope is going to be discussing how our drinking water here in Escambia County, in the state of Florida, is regulated and monitored. And next to Mr. Pope is Mr. Richard Drew, at the end, who is an environmental engineer, and he's the chief of the Bureau of Water Facilities Regulation with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, based in Tallahassee. And he's spent nearly 30 years with the department working with water resource issues, and he's going to be here to answer any questions, help to answer questions about state regulations. Our third speaker is Mr. Bill Johnson. Next to me is the Director of Engineering for ECUA and holds a degree in biology and civil engineering. He's licensed in the state of Florida as a professional engineer and a professional surveyor and mapper. He's also a longtime resident of the Pensacola area. And Mr. Johnson will be discussing what ECUA is doing currently to meet the standards that are in existence and plans for the future. Then our fourth speaker is Dr. Enid Siskin, who holds a PhD in pathobiology from Columbia University and did a postdoctoral fellowship at the National Institute for Environmental Health Sciences, which is a unit of the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Siskin is currently a faculty member in the School of Allied Health and Life Sciences at the University of West Florida, and she teaches both graduate and undergraduate courses in the public health program. And Dr. Siskin will discuss what has been reported to be in our water and what are the potential health implications of those. And then Dr. Carl Moore has a PhD in biology and has done research in invertebrate endocrinology. He's also worked for consulting firms for cleanups of DoD arsenals, and he is currently a research associate at the Wetland Laboratory of CEDB, housed at the University of West Florida. He's also been the co-author of several studies on Pensacola water bodies. And Dr. Moore will discuss pollutants of major concern in our aquifer for the future, emerging pollutants. And then our final speaker, Ms. Mary Gutierrez, is an environmental scientist for the Bay Area Resource Council and also an environmental planner with the West Florida Regional Planning Council. Ms. Gutierrez has a Bachelor's of Science in Environmental Science and a Master's in Public Administration with a concentration in Sustainable Community Development. And she's going to discuss with us what all of us in this room can do to help to protect our very vulnerable, shallow aquifer, drinking water aquifer. So we'll have these presentations, and then we'll have a few minutes for discussion, and then we'll open it up for questions from